And,
Right.
I want to make sure that every time I talk to somebody, every time I go live, that I'm talking to someone that's productive, intelligent, and that can evolve us. And, you're the senator in Illinois. And Indiana. I always say Illinois. I don't know why. In Indiana.
Oh, good.
You're senator in Indiana, and just in our conversations, you've actually I've expressed concerns about being diabetic, and you've actually lobbied to get laws passed that have actually helped us. You're a person that I feel the world needs to know, because a lot of people do a lot of complaining, but a lot of people don't really do anything to change things. And people of our color sometimes think that politics is something that
Right.
it's just unimaginable to get into. And you're a person that's basically from where we're all from, had the same kind of authentic experiences, but you've been able to parlay that into being a real live senator, running for governor, doing things like that, really taking your shot, doing something that no one would try to do, and even trying is like a W. So I just thought it was important that we kicked it, and then also you called and was like, yo, look, we need to kick it anyway because there were some things that were on your mind.
Right.
So I like to showcase intelligent conversation, and for people to understand that even when the cameras ain't on, this is how we talk when we talk.
Exactly. No, I appreciate that, man. First off, I got to send a big shout out to Congressman Carson.
Yeah, Andre. Congressman Carson, he put in that work.
He connected us, and ever since then, it's been nothing but love. So much love to Congressman Carson, and I appreciate you and Rocky showing me and Crystal love when we come out, and just kind of just making it official. But one of the things I would say, in particular for this time that we're in, man, it's been extremely interesting to see how we adjust. But as a culture, as a people, as we continue to look at the news and the media, and when we recognize and see the impact of what COVID-19 is doing globally, but in particular to people of color, and specifically for the Black community,
right,
it's devastating.
Right.
So, I've been paying attention. I've been watching you on social media and how you tell your story about being diabetic, right? But I think a lot of folks need to hear that story. More and more people need to hear that because you tell it in such a way that, hey, if you weren't in the position that you're in, you probably could live as healthy of a lifestyle as everybody else,
right,
or as you want to.
Right.
So I was hoping that we could have a conversation also about people right now need to understand the significance and importance of not just living a healthy lifestyle, but also how should we have our government provide or level the playing field for communities of color that's struggling right now, that's impacted by this plague. So we can't underestimate or undervalue the conversation of talking about long-term health and the inequities in our system. And so we talked about it earlier today in terms of we kind of grew up in the same type of communities. And every corner is a gas station. When you get out of school, where do you go? You go to the gas station, grab you some chips, you grab you a honey bun, or grab you a pop, whatever.
And lunch. 5 times a day, anyone that hangs out outside at least 5 times a day, you going in the bodega to get some chips, to get some candy,
Right.
some deli meat that's filled with preservatives, and you eat outside these unhealthy foods in small variations more than you eat at home. And then when you do go and get food in volume, you're trying to get the cheapest variation of it because that's all that's offered to us.
Right.
But then even religion is big in the hood, church, and after church, during church you're preaching God's word, but after church you're eating things that are clogging up your arteries, like sweet potato pie and macaroni and Kentucky
Right.
and fried chicken, and so it's like you're preaching life, but you're putting death in your body and you don't even know it. So I also feel like a mentality is important for us as a culture to understand what healthy is. Some people think being healthy is just eating, you know, but you have to understand if you're putting preservatives in your body, it weakens your immune system because of all the mucus that the preservatives bring, and also the meat. And with the problem with right now with black people is if your immune system is not tough enough, then the COVID will hurt you. So you could be living all right and be staying away from stuff and not even know it, but if you eating meat, you got a lot of stuff in your system. You could be working out every day, but if you're not, you know, taking care of your organs, then you're more susceptible to infection. But now more than any time, people have to understand, like if you're diabetic, see the thing about diabetes is it doesn't kill you overnight.
Right.
You know, it gets you later. So some people be like, yo, I'll deal with it later. But right now, if you're diabetic and you're not in control, you will have to deal with that now. So it's important to understand how to be in control and to stay in control. Like it just so happened I'm in control. I'm prepared for this, even though I knew it wasn't coming. Now, what I'm seeing with government is the whole world is unprepared. It all got hit at the same time, and there's no way to predict the future, right? Like, no government, no doctor. In this moment, there's no one on this planet that can actually predict exactly what's going to happen, when we can open up. And as it relates to business budgets or anything, as you know, you have to project things at least a quarter ahead of time, a year ahead of time. You have to project how much you think you're going to make so you know how much you're going to spend. So, number one, the economy's frozen because no one can project what they need to spend or what they're going to have to spend it on.
Right.
And number two, to live a certain kind of lifestyle, you have to learn, like you can't say being healthy costs too much. You just have to know exactly what to do. So within your budget, that can compensate for a cheeseburger or some Popeyes. You know, for the same price you
know, the one thing too, I was going to say this is extremely important. Access. There's so many communities, like I live in a community where we don't have access to a lot of fresh fruit, vegetables. And when we talk about government, and like we passed legislation this year that State Representative Robin Shackelford, which is the president of the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus, helped champion in terms of how do we look for fresh fruits, fresh vegetables that have access and minimize these food deserts.
Right.
Like we said, you got a bodega, you got a gas station on every corner. Access is limited.
Well, that's the thing I've always wondered as an adult. Once I found out what's actually good for us, how come that awareness isn't taught to us in any curriculum as it relates to education?
Yeah.
So like, if you're taught, like when you go to school, they give you milk, you know, they give you food that's manufactured mass. It's like almost, at times when I went, it was like damn near jail food. You know, not that I even know what jail food is because I haven't been there like that, but I can imagine it was like hospital food. And it doesn't become a priority in a person unless it's put into their brain as a young child. So you could tell a kid, yo, make sure you go to college their whole life, and that's all they know. If you tell a kid, if you don't take care of yourself, this is what can happen. And even down to fruit, you can get fresh fruit, and if it's a bunch of GMO preservative up fruit, then it's counterproductive. It's still not healthy. It looks healthy, but I just think awareness of the damage that what it does to your body when you put certain things in your body long term and you implement that day one, I just think curriculum and mentality would also change that a lot. Like, you know, again, you just have to understand, if, you know, a lot of people might say, my grandmother ate, you know, chicken and all this their whole life, and, you know, 100, and they lived to be 100. But 100 years ago, the food wasn't preservative. You're eating a different quality of food. You know what I mean? So I in the hood, I've never heard anyone give me any awareness of eating good food. And if it was someone, it was someone that was like real nature and granola and didn't have anything I wanted. That's why I'm teaching that, because that's the wealth and the education and curriculum that they don't teach us. And I think that's what people should be made aware of. Like, yo, if you're pounding an education in my head since I'm 6 until I'm 18, how come within that education isn't, understanding how to make and grow your own food? What's the difference between a preservative and not a preservative? How bad meat is for your heart. The fact and the fact that meat is the #1 cause of cancer and heart disease. You start telling somebody that young, like my daughter's the one that was the first person that told me, yo, you need to go vegan. My daughter Tallulah. And that's because her mother and her sister was pressing her about it. And I was like, man, I like meat. And then when I saw the doc, I was like, I gotta listen to my daughter. Her influence came from the people that were around her. The people that she looks up to are the people that are gonna be teaching her. But if the people that are teaching you are unhealthy and they're drinking milk and eating cheeseburgers and all the things that kill you quicker and make your immune system weaker, it's the norm to eat bad to the extent that you think it's not normal to eat good. And I've been around my friends years ago where they come to my table even before I was vegan, and if they hear it's organic, they be thinking automatically it's nasty. And I'm like, and then go get a bowl, go to like, Popeyes or something and come back with chicken. I'm like, that's disgusting. You know what I mean?
Let's do this. Tell us a little bit about Health is Wealth and the network and what you're doing on Dame Dash Studios and the type of meals and the lifestyle that you guys are teaching there.
Well, to me, like, I feel like, people buy cars and jewelry to showcase wealth. It showcase being aspirational. So if eating good food could be what makes someone superficial think that showcases wealth, that's lifestyle, then I want that to be what's cool, what means that, like, yo, you're not eating vegan, you must be broke if you that superficial. You understand what I mean? But really what it is I'm diabetic, and Raquel, my wife, she's really into being healthy. She's really into everyone around her being healthy, the dogs, everything else. And she loves cooking. And she makes sure that all the meals that are made facilitate my diabetic diet, but also taste so good that you don't notice it. And also it doesn't have to cost as much or be so chefed up. It's just knowing what to cook and how to improvise, And at the same time, she makes stuff vegan where I have no desire for meat, actually, to where the stuff that's supposed to be like meat is better than that. So that's what we're showcasing, the lifestyle of everyday living and eating healthy, to where every day I eat, I remember if I didn't eat meat that day and had one healthy meal, I thought I did something big. Today I ate good, but then tomorrow I ate like shit. I eat good every day. I feel good every day, and I'm 48 and I feel like I have more energy as a diabetic and living a really wealthy, happy life than most younger people, I work out every day. Most people look at diabetes as something that's supposed to weigh them down. And what I wanted people to know through my programming, whether it's Health is Wealth or the Dash Diabetes Network, is no matter what, every single great thing I did while I was diabetic. The appreciation that I have for life, because I thought I had something worse, has made it where I'm like, yo, if that's all I got, then I'm going to take full advantage of it and have so much fun, because I really appreciate being able to breathe, or not being tired, or not having something hurt on my body, or just, because I was sick for a little while, and I was like, yo, if I got to feel like this for the rest of my life, man, I'll do anything not to feel like this. A needle, that's it. Tomorrow I feel good, give it here. I'll take it every day. I'm good. And now that I have a second chance, I'm going to live it to the fullest. And another thing I try to teach on my network is the things that people can do on their own. How to make money on your own. How to be independent the same way I'm doing it. I show my struggles so you can understand exactly what a learning experience is. So in a time like this, it makes no sense to sit around and worry. It makes sense to sit around and think about how you're going to deal with a new future and let go of the past. And understand that, if the past was something that you weren't thriving in, if you weren't having fun in the past, then maybe you should embrace this new future. and figure out how to come through stronger as opposed to weaker. Be ahead of the game instead of behind the game. But understand it's a new game. So if a new game is going to start, the old game, we was behind. So we might can start way ahead. I know I am, because I've already prepared to do something that's pandemic proof. I make content.
Right.
You could get content from your house. What I've been preaching to people is get money by the pool. That's exactly what I'm doing now, and that's exactly what I was doing before the pandemic.
Right.
It really hasn't changed my workflow, except that I don't have to see so many people.
Right. So let's talk about that a little bit too, because some of the issues as a state senator that we're working on right now is how do we press the federal government, how we press state government to support those frontline workers, man, that's out there working throughout this entire pandemic, pre and post, right? So the value and appreciation is we're starting to see it more and more from the everyday person to the grocery store worker, to the person delivering those packages, that's putting their lives on the line to make sure the economy is still going, to make sure that we get our foods, to make sure we get our packages in the mail, and et cetera. Now, we also got to talk about the nurses and the doctors is also doing that in the hospitals. So let's talk about the everyday person right now that may not understand the global picture of this and may still take this very lightly, that this is not going to impact them. And they may be sitting at home and say, this is my time to just relax and chill. What do you say to that?
I say you slipping. And, when this thing opens back up, you're going to start out asking a lot of questions. And the only people that are going to win are the people that have answers. There's billionaires that are made in recessions and in chaos. And you have to be on that side. You just have to figure out all the opportunities that are presenting themselves. Again, most people aren't successful the old way things were working. They didn't like their lives the old way. So why not figure out a way to like your life and start out ahead of the game the new way and be creative? What do you have to lose? But if you like bitching and moaning about the unknown, that's what the fear is going to realize itself. To me, I get motivated. Like, yo, there's a new fight. If you see, I started being a little more aggressive about the people that I felt were taking advantage of me, because I feel like, yo, this is the game I could play right now. They're frozen. They can't make content. They can't cut a check. They don't own nothing. They can only, they only depend on doing bigger budgeted things with a lot of people. They got to plan, 4 months ahead of time to cut a check. I don't. I have 6,000 square feet, and I can continuously make safe content because it only takes 3 people in the 6,000 square foot vicinity, more than enough space for social distancing. And I can still edit and I can still put up content like I'm doing. Like today, I'm putting up a comedy show that I shot last week during the last couple of things that I've been putting on my network are things that I shot during this whole situation. I'm already planning for 4 months. See, this is what I do. I think about worst case scenario and have a plan for that. And some people think positive energy is going to make it where, the worst case scenario is going to be not going to happen. Okay, that might happen, but just in case your positive energy doesn't work, have a plan. And if you don't need the plan, still have a plan. It's just good to have it, and you probably will still end up ahead of the game. But I guarantee you, if you focus on making yourself better right now and thinking of different ways and creative things that you've never done before, ways to get money, you will find that when this is over, you might be making more money doing it the way you were doing it during the pandemic than the old way, and you'll continue to move like that. You'll continue to social distance. You'll make more money sitting at home with your family being happy if you figure out how to do it. For me, content creates residual income. And that means you make money while you're not there. That was always my concept. I'm like, yo, if I'm an artist, to make money, I have to be on the road 200 days out the year. They physically have to touch me. I physically have to be on the road. When you run for office, you physically, personally have to be there and shake so many hands. I'm not in that business. I'm in the business of you see me once and you'll see me like that 3,000 more times looking the same exact way, and I'm not going to have to lift a finger. And every time you look, you might have to pay for it. Your kids will have to pay for it. Your kids' kids will have to pay for it. The same thing I did 20 years ago, for the physical an action I did 20 years ago, I still make money for it. You understand?
Wow.
And what I want people to understand is someone's making money this way, but it's not you. You're in the game, but you play in the wrong position. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, motherfuckers want to be players, but they need to be player coaches, owners of the team. You should own the team, coach the team, play for the team. So when the team wins, you win. And, you know, you get the money and your kids get to work there. You get the money for it when you're not doing anything. You know, they don't let us know what position to play. You know?
Right. You know what? I watched an interview you did some while ago, and you said you've always gone into the future and been able to see down the road and bring it back, and it ends up playing out. What did you break that down for me?
So, if I want to buy a house that costs $20 million, right?
Right.
I go visualize the house. I go into the house. I see me living in the house. And then I think about what exactly do I have to do to buy this house? How long will it take me to make this, or how quick do I want to get in that house? So I figure out what I got to do and how fast I need to do it to be able to buy that house.
Right.
And then I figure out all the things that would hurt me or get in my way or make it where getting there would be slower. And I try to make sure that doesn't happen. And then I think about all the things that will get me there quicker and figure out how to do that. And then once I can visualize that and look at all those things, then it's my job to make sure the people that the team I want around me is inspired enough to where they could see that picture, they could go to the future, and they could see where they can get a good piece of that, where their dreams become my dreams, and we all are focused on the same positive energy, and then it realizes itself. It doesn't come to us. We just have a plan, and we know how to go in the direction to get it. Even if we make a mistake, we still moved forward. We learned from it. You know, like you can't have a bunch of people, because you can't really do too many things on your own without a team of people that are partners with you, that are like-minded. You know, if they don't understand your vision, then they're probably only there for a check, and there's the only way they can do it. They can't do it correctly and thoroughly. So that's also why. Well, go ahead.
But how do you deal with those dead weights? You know, you've been around. You got your clique and the folks that's been around for a while.
Review. Because usually I don't have people around me as favors. I pay people. So like, if you're not doing the job and I can't make money from what you're doing, you got to go. How I'm gonna pay you? That's just logic. There ain't no emotion in it. But also, there's a lot of people that sometimes, because they're not used to seeing a black man really at this position. They really aren't. And a black man's not used to a black man being at that position. So sometimes, you know, when you have, especially with men, they tend to think that we're personal friends, you know, and I need to hear their opinions, even though I paid, and I'm respectfully paid. You understand what I mean? They take it a little, and sometimes they talk to me in ways I'm like, have you ever like talked to your white boss like that in your life? Because, you know, I'm just curious, you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. And we're so programmed. It's so crazy. I've been really thinking about this. I talked to my therapist about this the other day. Like, literally, can you name one black man that calls out white people by names since like Bumpy Johnson or Farrakhan or Frank Matthews? In 30 years, one black person in business that will actually fight a white man or someone, and again, not to say it's a racist thing, just someone that's doing something disrespectful to our culture that's not from our culture. Can you name one person?
Right. No, I can't think of anybody.
Now, if I say, can you name one black man that fights another black man, how long would that list be?
Yeah, that'd be endless right there, right now.
Now, we're so programmed to believe that we can't even question. We don't dare fight someone that's not from, like, we had no problem fighting each other, but I'm a unicorn. That balance doesn't make sense. It should be Everybody fights whoever's disrespecting us, and we never fight each other like a family. You understand? So if you notice, I let a lot of things slide within people from my culture, only because they from my culture. But I don't let them slide.
Now, was this learned by a mentor? Who was that person that kind of helped you along the way?
It was like I think it was the spirit of certain people from a distance. But honestly, my mother really taught me just if white or black, we're all human, we're all equal. If you don't agree with something, you have to just articulate that. And as long as you can do that, people can't knock you. But what I notice is people take my words like it's illegal to talk. You know, it's illegal to offend somebody. Like, in certain cultures, when you talk to them, just because they're not used to somebody questioning them, they really think that's a crime. You know, that's a reason to like label me or try to, you know, put me on a list or blackball me, because I simply will make you respect my culture in front of my face. No bad business or anything. You know, like how dare I question you disrespecting my culture? Like I should be honored to let you disrespect my culture and let you get the money for it and let you laugh at me and let you promote everyone in your family, but not promote anyone in mine. And then we're programmed to fight each other to distract that's going on. But I just don't understand. I mean, how could I be the only one? Like, that just means we are so programmed to stay in line. How do they keep us in line like that?
That's deep, man. That's deep. Do you have younger cats in the game coming to you on the side, kind of asking for some advice?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. But the crazy thing is, again, I know some pretty thorough, tough guys, but they don't never have no beef with nobody other than people from their own culture.
Right.
Like, why do we get so soft when it comes to fighting them? Why are we so scared of them?
Right.
Like, why is it such a big deal that I say their names? Like, I see guys on Instagram calling out, niggas call out niggas every day. By name, by picture, go up in their neighborhood, all type of stuff. But but we not tough enough to go to Park Avenue and say, yo, stop disrespecting me.
That's dope. I mean,
I'm just saying, think about how, without putting hands on us, they really got us fighting, thinking it's all right to fight each other, and that it's off the hook crazy. I gotta be batshit crazy because I'm questioning them.
So you take all of that, right? When we talking to folks post-pandemic, that's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
I seen you issue a challenge to folks. Was it a 30-day challenge?
It was a get money while you're in the house challenge.
So you gave us an example of you constant content, and you were able to flip that. Well, what do you see in some other folks do that's is either around you or that's been motivated, inspired, that's reached out to you, say, hey, this has triggered me to do something?
Well, when I talk to people, number one, a lot of people are using their lives a lot more and, you know, doing more events. A lot of people are trying to figure out what businesses and how to get the product to be able to sell it. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are making content, you know, and I'm challenging more people to make, like, so for example, you know, I work with the Yacht Squad and the Bishop, and, you know, that challenge was, we need to make a record from here to there. Like, you know, we'll send you the beat, we need an album. We're going to make an album in this pandemic. You know, I have a challenge with like another artist, David, Sebastian, to who could shoot a movie. Me and him going to shoot a movie together, but not be in front of each other. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like the levels, like you got to understand, like also the people I talk to are real generals and entrepreneurs, and you know, I talk to senators and I talk to congressmen and CEOs of companies. The way they're adjusting is also interesting, because a lot of people have to really worry about their staff, even though their staff aren't working, and watching them make the decision of like to still pay their staff and still pay their bills despite the fact that they're not generating the same income because they care about their people. So
Right.
I'm actually starting to see real bosses. So the thing I'm most proud of as a human and a boss is that no one in my crew had to take a pay cut. I didn't have to go down in staff. I'm still able to make sure they can eat every day and their lives are uninterrupted. What I know is when you're in my bubble, that even in a pandemic, you still could get money.
Yeah.
I'm showing sustainability through a war. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to be like broken, soft and all this, and I'm little. How come the big cats can't move and I can't? How come my model is more sustainable as being an independent and doing my little thing than your model where someone pays you a lot of money but only when they want to or only when they could? Now you're stuck. So
Right.
that's why I've always trusted the independent way, and now I could actually showcase, like, this is why I told y'all, be independent, because when some shit happens that you can't control, you're dependent on somebody and not yourself. And if you're an adult and got kids, you don't want your kids to watch you saying, yo, if this man don't pay me, I'm fucked up. Like, you don't want that.
Right.
You want to be able to proudly say, y'all good? Go get some ice cream. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
You know, it's your choice if you want to pay your bills this month, but you know, I paid you.
Right.
I feel that's pride. Now that's an independent black man can still pay his people during a pandemic. That should be the stat, but no one talks about that. But they wouldn't understand that because most people never paid nobody. They never really was. You know, it's not too many of those people out there in this world.
And that's why I hit you up today, because I said, you know what, man, I have so many of my childhood friends that they needed some inspiration. They needed to hear it from someone that's outside of our community and inspire them to say, look, take this time and let's go to the next level. All right. So I appreciate you sharing all this and unpacking this. I wanted to let you know what we're doing in the next couple of days. So tomorrow I'm having a virtual town hall where I have representatives from the federal government that's going to walk my community through the federal stimulus packet.
Dope.
And how they can apply for those dollars.
Nice.
So we have a lot of small businesses. We have a lot of nonprofit organizations that don't even realize and recognize that they qualify.
Right.
And we got a lot of churches.
Yeah.
Because, you know, think about it. I'm sure you've seen it online. Folks, it was Easter last weekend, and there are a lot of churches that couldn't sustain because they can't collect the tithes and offerings like they were, right?
You
And
see
they may
Macy?
have staff.
Macy just closed like 15,000 doors, had to fire like 40,000 people. It's crazy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of lives tied into this. There's a lot of churches that have food banks. There's a lot of churches that hire staff. So my whole purpose was to have this virtual town hall to bring the federal government in and talk to the everyday person that's providing these services. I'll share that information with you, man, and hopefully the people that's listening to you, that's following you on your social media platform, they can benefit from it.
That's dope.
Then I also wanted to get some other elected officials from across the country so we can have a more thorough conversation around this pandemic and the issues on how it's impacting our communities. And hear what's happening in Detroit, in Chicago, in Indianapolis, and in Gary, Indiana, and in a variety of other places.
I want to be clear. You're doing, because the problem is there's things and opportunities that are out there, and us as a culture, we just don't know them, and we miss out on them, right? So there's a lot of help you're saying, and there's a lot of things that are being made through the stimulus package available to people. If you don't know to go get it, you won't get it. So, you know, this is what you're saying, right? Like this.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's the problem is we're always crying about, you know, why we don't get these opportunities, because we don't know about those opportunities. We don't look for those opportunities. We don't get to take advantage of those opportunities. You know, this is the time to see really what people pay taxes for. The country takes care of you when you're in need. The whole world, the whole country needs to be taken care of, and it looks like they're going to figure out how to do it, but don't miss out on it. So go to his thing, listen to what he's saying. You might qualify and you don't even realize it for like some kind of forgivable loan or some shit like that. That means you get a loan and you don't have to pay it back. A lot of that can happen. Like nobody knows what or how bad this is gonna be.
Yeah, and there could be possible waves after this one. Like if they open up the government, who's to say in the next 2 or 3 months that we won't get another wave?
They were saying, I read something they said in Korea that they were worried that the test, like 19 people that got it, it came back positive again. But they're not sure if it was because of a faulty test.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't know. You just don't know what, you know. All you can do is hope. You really don't know what this shit is going to do. All I know what I'm going to do, because even if they say open the doors or not, like they say open the doors next week, I'll be like, y'all can go out there if you want. I'm not waiting for somebody.
I was just saying that to somebody.
Like, I'm not going out there. I don't care what they say. Until this shit is 0 deaths a day, they got the test on deck, whatever that, and I don't see how you could approve any medicine in less than a year. I don't see it. It doesn't happen. So if there's a vaccine that they find,
the process, man, it's not going to be back on its feet. Society is not going to be so quick to go back and just sit in a restaurant and go to the movie theater.
It's going to be
so it's going to be a process.
So what I'm saying is, being that no one knows what's going to happen, and it takes like just if there's a medicine that they created today, right? How long, just so people would even understand that, generally speaking, if they found the vaccine today and everyone doesn't want a vaccine, how long would it take to even get it approved and tested to make sure that it's even safe?
Yeah, they're going to have to do some test trials. I know they're working on the first batch of test trials now. They got to at least do 3 that I know of.
How long does that take?
It's going to take several weeks, if not months.
When I was doing the diabetes thing with, mankind and all that, the process with the FDA, that would be the problem, is that there would be so many things that work, but you couldn't get it FDA approved. It was like really hard to get some. So again, for my part, I remember being like, if you get it today, I don't see how, because to run a trial test, it means you have to wait to see what the collateral damage is, after a little while. So how can somebody even trust anything unless it's been tested for at least a year?
Yeah.
You know what
side effects and things like that. Yeah.
Like only thing I want to know about is that I can trust before a year is like a test. Like to see if you got it, like an on-deck test that people are trying to make. Like when you come over here, poop, you good? Come on in. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Test.
But that's the only thing I can really trust. But I can't trust no medicine because the shit can hurt me if I haven't seen it tested. Like it might take it away now and like knock me down and kill me in a year. Like how do you know?
That's what's up, man. Man, I ain't gonna hold you, brother, but I just wanted to make sure we touch base and you just send some words of encouragement from your point of view.
The encouragement is embrace the change. If your family is not affected, or even if your family is, number one, you have to look at the light and the dark.
Right.
And look at this maybe as an opportunity to make your life better. Just because things aren't the way you wrote the script, the movie will still get made, and it might be a better movie. If you work hard right now, find the light in the dark. That's what it is, and there's no other way. Come out of this better. Have a positive outlook on this, and then also appreciate the fact that you're healthy. Because if you do catch the shit, you're gonna be all fucked up. I mean, you're gonna be in a place where you can't work, and then you're gonna wish you had done those little things. You're gonna be like, oh my God, if I can just get my breath back again, you know what I'll do? I'll do anything. You don't want to have to go through that to appreciate the fact that you have the ability and the opportunity to do certain things. Don't take it for granted, because a lot of people are sick and they can't do it. So do it for the people that can.
And appreciation of family and friends and loved ones too, man.
Always that. Like if you're in your house and you're quarantined and you don't like the house you're quarantined in, then you should be thinking of a plan to get into a better house. If you don't like the people, or you're not getting along, or you gotta either figure out how to work that out, or you always should build your future life for quarantine. You should always be ready for quarantine. If your life can't facilitate quarantine, then your life ain't right. And you should fight to get it there. Like I can sustain in quarantine. I love the people I'm around. I love the house I'm in. I love my business. I love the food I eat. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
right now. You know, this is the best way to be quarantined. Even if things aren't the same, if it gets whacker after this, I can always say, but I quarantined like this. I don't care what you say. You know what I mean?
It was good.
I don't care what you say. Quarantine, this is what my quarantine looked like.
Right.
I believe the next quarantine I'll be in a bigger house. I'm already planning for the next quarantine. I want land now. I want compounds. I don't even want to play with houses no more. I need like little neighborhoods and shit just in case I can't. Here's 10 people we could work, come to my little city. Like I almost want my own little cities now. It's like I'm getting like, you thought I was social distancing before this, watch now. I've been social distancing, but stay strong, stay positive, find the light in the dark. Don't expect nothing to come to you. Go get it and visualize it and be able to at least inspire other people around you. And your motivation gotta be love. It gotta be love. If you're a selfish person, if you're in the house alone, think about the reason why that is. It's because you might only love yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're driving a 2-door car and you got a 1-bedroom, man, or a studio, and you're a certain age, why are you alone? Because you don't love nobody. That might be why you hate your life. You might not know how to love yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So figure out how to love yourself so you can, and the way to love yourself is to figure out, you know, how to love something besides yourself. You know, I got kids. I have a purpose. You got a purpose. Not only do we love our kids, we love our culture, we love our people, we love our country. And everything we do reflects that every single day.
Right.
You know, there's nothing better than living for a purpose, and you got to find that purpose. If you have no purpose, find it. And you should enjoy fighting for it. It shouldn't feel like work.
Hey, tell people about the Black Guns album before you chime off.
Well, number one, I only have one guest on my album, and it's you, a senator. I couldn't just have like, and the hook, hustling's in my frame of mind. I mean, hustling's in my DNA. You made that hook. We was talking, and I was jamming out. You just picked it up and got up there. Like, don't forget, you know, I used to be out there rapping, and you start hitting it. And I was like, ooh, pause. and we started to, you know, it turned into a real record, and you laid a verse in. So it's real rock and roll, real live instrumentation. Yeah. The thing is, we would have been doing shows in Indiana, but this thing happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also think about it, before we leave, forget our problem. If you in the hotel business, the theater business, the bar business, the any business that revolves around being outside, party promoter, it's time to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, it might be time to, you know, a new business model.
Absolutely, man.
I'm worried about the Raiders. Like, man, that costs $1 billion to build that over there, the football stadium in Vegas. How they gonna get their money back at all? You know, it's got to, you know, what happens? It's slow. You know, when you're dependent on, that means don't be dependent on people coming outside.
I'm sure the government gonna look out for them. Watch.
Oh, definitely. The government, you know, was the partner in it. Of course they are. But, you know, still, you know, it's still like, again, the big wigs will probably get protected, but the people underneath, like, who knows? Who knows? I can't even say.
Yeah, no, that's true, man.
Who knows?
All right, man. Tell Rocky and Nicolette I said what's up.
Tell us up to her.
What's up, Eddie?
What up, what up?
Oh, God.
But, yeah, I appreciate you. Send my regards to your wife, you know, and I'm going to send you some recipes. We were talking about a couple. Rocky made some, like, I don't know, like, I'm so crazy. Today, 2 days straight, she been knocking me down, like, oh my God, this shit is.
What was that, the egg in the basket or something?
The egg, yeah, something like that. The egg in the bread or something like that, but it was in this shit was nuts. And then, what was that flat potato, crispy, what was that she made?
Smashed potato.
Smashed potato? Oh my God, with the mushroom gravy. I have Rocky send the recipe too.
All right, man.
All right,
what's
bro.
up, bro. Peace, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, my man.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, kicking it with a Senator Eddie Milton. It's important to have, you know, talk to people that can help you, and you can help them, and they help other people. And again, if you on this live, it ain't really for no bubblegum shit. It's really for us to learn and evolve, to inspire. You know what I mean? And if you ain't down for that, you know, you're here for you in the wrong spot. You're wasting your time. You know what I mean? But we put the Billy Carson episode out on Dame Dash Studios yesterday. And today we're going to put out the Memphis Wills comedy special. So, as a network, I want to make a precedent that I am the only network that's giving you new content, while everyone else is pushing old work because they don't have the ability to move. And I'm not mad. I just want people to recognize that this is what happens when you're independent. And there's not too many people doing it. And also all the content isn't bubblegum shit. The content is good content. It's to evolve us. So we're going to put that out. And then Friday, we're going to put out OG stories. And then the next week after that, we're going to put out the episode 2 of Dress to Kill. So if you haven't seen Dress to Kill episode 1, you should probably check it now. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure, as everybody out there, are y'all really trying to figure out how to come out of this stronger? And what are you doing to do that? You know what I mean? What are you doing to do that? And if you're sitting around worried, don't worry. Just get cautious. Get clear, but think about what this future looks like. And don't be scared of change or the unknown. Just be prepared. Embrace it. Oh, Albemarle's in the building. What's happening? Or always stay positive. You know what I mean? Somebody said, look at depressed commodities. I don't even know what that is. See, the funny thing about having a clothing line right now, especially if you're in retail, is no one's going outside, so no one's going to be buying no clothes, and you don't know what season people going to come back outside. So it's going to be, that's going to be interesting to see how the fashion business deals with this. Like if you ordered, like right now, if you ordered or you were dependent on selling bathing suits right now, when you had like millions of dollars worth of inventory that was supposed to come in so it could be sold now, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. But, I'm just thinking about that. Like, damn. Like if you have a clothing line, like right now, like I'm curious to know what's going to happen with, certain businesses that were all only dependent on Macy's. If you only had your shit in Macy's, and Macy's just shut all the way down, what you gonna do? There's no more Macy's right now. I think right now the best thing that I'm understanding is essentials will always have to be made and sold. So, medicine, liquor is essential, weed, content, food. Right now, masks, deodorant, toilet paper, shit like that. So I'd be like, man, if I didn't have anything but content, I'd be like, man, I think I'm going to figure out how to sell some of these essentials. Because that's pandemic proof. Now, everything goes up essential-wise. So now if I'm doing a business right now, the only kind of business I would invest in the future is one that's pandemic proof. So if this shit ever happens again, you're prepared. That's how I would look at things now. I'd be like, before when you were thinking about business, you weren't thinking like that. Hey, you got to adjust. My business model would be right now, make sure it doesn't entail a lot of people ever having to be outside in the same place. Make sure people could buy it from home. Make sure I don't need a lot of people to make it. If I'm going to make something in the future, figure out how to do it with the minimal, leanest amount, shoestring. So like if I'm writing a movie right now, I'm not going to write a movie about a football team, that entails, or a gang, I'm going to write a movie that's going to have like 3 or 4 people in it. I can't write a big production right now because a lot of people can't. Also, like, if you got to spend a lot of money, that means it got to be in the theater. So you can't even make a movie right now and spend a lot of money because how you going to get your bread back? You got to just be like, yo, I'm going to make something just for the price point and straight to consumer. You know what I mean? And that's what I've been doing. You know, that's what I've been doing. So, I'm going to be transparent. My purpose of being on the live is to talk to y'all, to push my product, to make sure y'all understand it, to make sure that from my product you could get something from it, learn from it, make something from it. Lead by example. All of it. Like, I think if you use like Instagram just to be social and all that, if you don't use it for business, if you don't use it for a purpose, then yeah, it could become something that's a negative. But if you understand how to use Instagram to your benefit, it's not superficial. It's just being able to talk and have reach to people direct anytime you want. But you got to have a product to sell. Got to have a product to sell. And also, if you have a platform, karmically speaking, your job's not to make people feel bad. Your job is to try to make people feel good. And if you are making someone feel bad, it's only because they made other people feel bad. You know what I mean? But that's the only reason. And also so that the people that are making other people feel bad are identified and they can no longer do that. That's how I see it. I mean, we definitely got Culture Vulture merch. We just got to make it. We don't do all that. We got merch for every single thing we do. We got merch. Got socks for everything. I got the CEO socks. We sell socks. We make content. We do everything. And even our conversations, we know people can learn from it, so we show them. Big shout out to the Yacht Squad. Bishop, my condolences to your father. Bishop is a warrior, man. He's a warrior. I can't, he's a different kind of guy. But big shout out to him and his family, his kids, and his wife, everything. People that are insecure tend to try to, undermine someone else's success to make themselves not look so bad. It makes them feel better. So for people what you got to understand is, for people that, like myself, that are saying different things, you always have to expect, people to have something to say that aren't doing anything. That's their only line of defense. And that's just how insecure people defend themselves. So when someone says certain things, you understand their insecurities and how weak they really, look at themselves. You know what I mean? So if you find that you're a person that's saying stupid shit, there's no way that you're really enjoying that. You're just trying to distribute the energy that you feel about yourself. So then I'd be like, damn, he just showed his hand. He's weak. You know what I mean? And then not to pay attention to those people, because why would you pay attention to somebody that's weak? You know what I mean? And if you spend your time, waving another man's flag that's not waving yours, not related to you, because you like his life better than you like your own, then you got to get your shit together. And that's probably the reason why you on my live, anyway, probably because, you don't want it, but you want to learn. You know what I'm saying? But none of that stops your grind. It makes you move forward faster to get away from stupid people. What should be social distancing always is negative people. Always have social distancing from negative people, because that kind of energy is contagious. And you like to be around people that laugh, because when you're around people that laugh, you laugh. When you're around people that want to get money, you want to get money. You want to have people that have the energy that you want, not the energy you don't want. I know that the reason why I'm speaking is because I want to spread the energy I feel. I feel strong. I feel like this is a good time for us to try to get money, for us to stick together, to punish those that are punishing us. You can't mistake fight from tight. Fight is different. You know what I mean? And a real warrior is doing it all the time, because you have something to fight for. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't get it now, you're gonna feel silly if you get that when you get it later, because you're like, damn, I was so slow. And if I would have took advantage of understanding what someone's the good energy they're trying to distribute, and use it and apply it to my life, I'd be so much further ahead. So most people that are here are really here for that, and I appreciate everybody that's here for that. You know what I'm saying? Keep it positive. So I got more content, you know. I appreciate y'all, appreciating everything I'm doing. Check out Dame Dash Studios, and, you know, take this time to get money. Take this time to challenge yourself. You know, sometimes you have to lose a battle to win a war. Period. Sometimes you throw a battle so you can win a war. Trust me on that. It's chess, not checkers.